I can tell you how big his winker is. It's pretty small.
No, it's not. I could tell you plenty of times.
It's about that big.
I've known him for 7 years.
It's about that big.
Not, definitely not. And don't you dare tell him about his penis.
Every single time I turn around, it's another female texting my phone like, oh, I just dating your boyfriend. Your boyfriend is my boyfriend. That's our boyfriend. Like, what you mean?
Wait, what?
Boyfriend.
Our boyfriend?
The fact that you can allow another female to talk to me in that way, you know what I'm saying? And I ask him about it over and over again. What are you talking about? You're delusional. You don't even know anything.
Jaylon just flipped out and told Dajaniqua to come get the baby, saying he wanted a DNA test. She was like, huh? They were chill. Then boom, he's not claiming the kid.
My son was over his house. He was only over there 5 days, and he texted me like, you need to get your son, and I'm not getting him until I get a blood test. And I have here some evidence too.
What kind of evidence?
A message.
So wait, out of the blue, you all are co-parenting this little boy. How old is Jaden?
2.
2 years old, you're co-parenting him. Out of the blue, he said, come get your son?
Yes.
Some random girl told Jaylon the baby might not be his. Instead of asking questions, he just believed her. Then he dipped from baby duties like poof.
Actually, a week ago, me and my son was in the house playing around. I went outside. A girl told me she had something to tell me about my baby mother. She said Ms. Johnson told another girl that Jaden wasn't mine. I inboxed Ms. Johnson and told her I don't want him another day.
At that point, you're thinking this is my biological child. I'm spending time with my son.
Jaylon had receipts, a voicemail of Dajaniqua yelling, the kid ain't his. Everyone went quiet like, uh-oh. She said she was mad and didn't mean it.
That's not your baby. You're right, that's not your baby. Somebody else the daddy. Somebody else is the take him all the way completely off of your period. No, and I'm finna come get my own baby. How about that? That's mine, that's my baby.
Whoa, Miss Johnson, is that you?
Yes, it is me.
Now the moms start yelling, saying who really takes care of the baby. It got loud fast, like a family BBQ fight. Judge Lake had to call for order.
He don't have to have receipts. She know we do for
No,
him.
for free. That you don't do nothing.
It don't. I buy him stuff. It doesn't matter. He being taken care of.
Who in your house?
At the end of the day, when he's at my house and Jalen has something to do, Miss Johnson will not come and get him. I text her one time, my daughter texted her and said, can you come and get him? My mama need to go to the hospital. She never showed up.
Jaylon's whole family was there when Jaden was born, all happy. They were sure he was theirs, but now it's all doubts and drama.
Was the whole family there,
Whole family.
Mr. Taylor?
I had to
Mr.
put him
Taylor?
out.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you remember when your son said somebody told me that the baby's not mine?
Actually, I didn't hear that until just recently.
She be a little too busy, so she'll never be at the home.
Too busy to find out the grandchild she thinks is hers is not her biological child?
Jaylon went for a DNA test, but Dajaniqua never showed. She said he never denied the baby before. Judge Lake wasn't buying that excuse.
This paperwork confirms that you did go and submit to the DNA testing.
Yes, Your Honor.
You had it done, but what you're saying is she never showed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you not show up with Jaden, Miss Johnson?
Not intentionally.
But Jaden was about 9 months old when this happened.
Yes.
Dajaniqua said the baby had a heart murmur, like Jaylon. She thought that proved he was the dad. But Judge brought in a doctor real quick.
This is just basically his eczema that he has and a heart murmur, yes.
And a heart murmur.
If you look at...
Just like Mr. Taylor has.
And you believe that these are two medical issues that the child has in common with Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor, do you have a heart murmur?
Yes, I do.
The doctor was like, nope, heart murmurs ain't inherited. That whole theory crashed. Everyone looked super confused.
So a heart murmur is really just an abnormal sound in the heart rhythm. Normally you're used to listening to the heart and it goes lub-dub. With a heart murmur, you may have an extra sound or some sounds that are not classic to the normal pattern. There is not a genetic link with heart murmurs. The majority of heart murmurs are innocent heart murmurs, meaning they're just changes in flow. They come on with either a newborn right at birth, or they have, in an adult, they have something to do with.
Yep, they made a baby from a game of truth or dare. Everyone in court was like, what? Even Judge Lake looked shook.
Who I ran away from my mom's house. He knows it. We had played a game of truth or dare one time, which led to us having a baby.
We didn't have sex that day. We had
so what?
sex
But
the
you
next
just
day.
and you already told the conception date and everything. You know this. I don't even know why you sitting up here playing with me.
She ran away to his house?
She actually ran away.
She started crying and said she didn't care anymore. Judge Lake was like, girl, you do not speak for the baby. Jaden still needs his dad.
I don't care. I don't care about this. I'm ready for this to be over with. I don't even care no more.
You don't care if
No,
the child
I don't
knows
care.
his biological father?
He don't need him.
He does.
No,
if
he don't.
If he's his biological father,
No,
baby,
he don't, or you.
Baby, he needs his father and you need yours. Let me tell you something.
That's right.
The big moment.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Taylor, you are the father.
This case goes nuts real fast. Mr. Webb says he never even did the thing that makes babies. Ms. Cole and her mom are like, yes, you did, don't lie.
Mr. Webb, you and your girlfriend say there's no chance whatsoever that you fathered the defendant's 6-month-old daughter, Majestic. You say your evidence will shock this courtroom.
Ms. Cole swears the baby happened on April 11th. Webb says, nope, I was just on the couch. They're living in two totally different stories.
I know for a fact the dates line up, and I know he stayed with me for 2 months, and he slept in my bed with me for 1 night, and we had sex April 11th.
What was the nature of your relationship?
We never had sex or anything. We were just friends. We would chill out. That was it.
You were never intimate with her in any way?
I never stayed in her bedroom. I stayed out on the couch.
Webb says the worst thing they did was take a bathroom selfie. He didn't even want to be in it. Ms. Cole posted it anyway like it was a wedding photo.
Your Honor, the worst that we've ever done is take a picture, and she was already in the bathroom. She had called me in there. When I walked in the bathroom, she said cheese and took a picture before I could even say anything. I didn't even want to take that picture. That's how crazy she is. She posted it on Facebook, and when I told her to take it down, she refused to because she's crazy.
Come on, you know dang good and well that me and my husband took care of you the whole time you were there.
Ms. Cole's mom says they fed and helped Webb. Webb says, no way, I was barely there. Everyone yells like it's a family dinner gone wrong.
He's a punk bum. We supplied everything for them. Their food, everything.
I wasn't living there. We were hanging out for a week and a half. Right. And on top of that, April 18th, I had moved back to Detroit. How was I there for 3 months? She had knew about it. We were friends. She trusts me. She knows I'm not like that. I don't do that type of stuff.
I've known him for 7 years, and he's not like that at all.
Webb brings out text screenshots like it's court show and tell. She sent him a baby pic saying it looked like him. He says, girl, that's a 3D blob.
She messaged me saying, hey, I got an ultrasound. I had said, okay, can we leave it at that, Tasha? It's not my baby. I'm not trying to. At this point, I'm thinking, I feel like she's trying to say that I'm the baby daddy, but just hinting, not actually saying. What came next? I told her, I said, I'm not trying to be mean. I just want this to end.
She suddenly says, okay, maybe there was another guy too. Webb just sits back like, told y'all, the twist no one expected.
Did he ever acknowledge that he was the father?
Admitted to my cousin that he was the dad.
Why manufacture all of this?
I think she's obsessed with me. Something.
No.
I don't know what it is. I've been trying to figure out
There's
for the
one
last
reason
year.
why I'm here. To know for sure he's the dad, because I did have another partner. It was a month.
Ms. Cole shows a calendar like it's a homework assignment. She marked the exact baby-making day. Webb looks like he wants to disappear.
In red is the date you were intimate with Mr. Webb, on the 11th of April.
Yeah.
The window of conception is in blue.
Yeah.
So that's the week prior to the 11th. And then Majestic was born on the 28th of January, correct?
Yes.
When were you intimate with the other guy?
May 15th, 16th.
How do you get those two mixed up? That's over a month. How are you gonna say that you think it's him and then over a month?
Then she starts talking about his private parts. Everyone cringes hard. His girlfriend jumps in ready to fight.
I can tell you how big his winker is. It's pretty small.
No, it's not. I could tell you plenty of times.
It's about that
I've known him for 7 years.
It's about that big.
Definitely not. And don't you dare tell him about his penis. All we're here to do is...
More texts come out and it's messy. She says it's either Webb or a white dude. Even Judge Lake looks like she's tired now.
These are text messages of her telling me that it's either me or the other guy. She's not even for sure. It's just until now that she decided that it's for sure 100% me.
No.
But does that text?
Nothing about this is hard. It's not my baby, so just stop, man. This is from you. I hope you find whoever it is. It's you or a white dude. It will be clear when I see her.
They start arguing over the baby's skin color. One says white, one says brown. Judge Lake's face says, seriously, y'all?
That baby don't look nothing like
So
me.
you're saying there's absolutely no resemblance?
Absolutely nothing.
That baby's just straight white.
I ain't white, I'm brown.
You're not that brown.
Yes, he is. He's Puerto Rican and Indian. Yeah, he's brown.
You see my skin color? Are you
Now,
blind?
you've seen his body, so you know he
somebody
is
get this girl
brown.
some glasses.
Miss Cole, has she ever said, Mom, really the other guy's the father? Or is she really hoping Mr. Webb is the father?
No.
Tess says,
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Webb, you are not her father.
Oh, yeah, you're crazy. You need to go to a mental hospital.
this story is a hot mess with extra sauce. Mr. Griffin cheated on his wife with her stepsister. Now they're in court because there might be a baby from it.
Mr. Griffin, you were a married man who had a 2-year affair with your wife's stepsister, the defendant. You say that relationship produced a daughter, but Ms. Richmond claims you are not her daughter's biological father.
The lady admits she messed up, big time. Griffin says it was a mistake, but dude, it lasted 2 years. Yeah, that's not a slip. That's a full tumble.
Not thinking, just being wild at that time of my age, and just not caring about anything. I can admit to that. I'm trying to fix it for her now.
I mean, you a married man, and it's bad enough you sleeping around outside the marriage. But your wife's sister?
That was an honest mistake, Your Honor, but at the same...
They hung out a lot because of family visits, which turned into something else. He was married for 10 years and still sneaking around. This ain't family dinner, it's a family soap opera.
Because he was taking me home from when I used to go over to their house to visit my stepsister and stuff.
How long had you been married at the time, Mr. Griffin?
I'm still about 10 years.
So you all had known each other for an extended amount of time. Oh, this is all in the family.
I was in love, so I thought what I thought was love back in that time.
Oh, because you had worked yourself up that you was in love with him.
Yes, Your Honor.
She told him she was pregnant, and he lifted the baby up like it was a lamp, said, maybe mine, and dipped. That was the last serious talk about the baby.
Tell him first before anyone else that he was the father. We slept together more unprotected than I did with the other gentlemen. As I remember, he said yes. He came over to my house and he picked her up and he went up on the stairs and he, put her up to the light and he said, yeah, she could be mine. And that was the last we ever discussed.
That's the last you discussed her paternity?
Tikia says she's seen him once ever, like one time. But he still swears he always believed she was his kid.
That you have not seen Mr. Griffin?
I've seen him one time when I was like 14. In my life, I spoke to him first time on the phone like the other week. I never
That's because I didn't know where they was at. 30 years I've been knowing that she's mine.
I did tell him that I was pregnant, but also I did tell him he was the father.
Mom admits she was with 2 other guys too. She told Griffin because he was around the most. But turns out, baby making only takes one time.
And I'm sure he was with other people too, so I was with 2 other guys.
So you were admitting that during the window of conception, you were also sleeping with other men?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you tell those men you were pregnant as
No,
well?
Your Honor.
Why did you only choose to tell Mr. Griffin?
Mr. Griffin was the one I was with mostly all the time.
Right.
So that's
and so
why
you know it only
assumed
takes once though, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Griffin didn't help during pregnancy at all. Mom says she moved on fast and tried hiding it. From her own sister, yikes.
Were you with her all during the pregnancy?
No.
After I got pregnant, we never had too much contact because I got into a relationship
that
with
was
another
you
gentleman. We didn't hardly see each other.
She was trying to hide it from her stepsister.
So, Mr. Griffin, how did you tell your wife that you got her sister pregnant?
I didn't, because I was too embarrassed to tell her, I did that.
Tikia grew up not knowing who her dad was. Her cousins said she looked like the Griffins. But her mom was like, nah, not them.
Like the first time someone brought his name up, my mom never brought his name up. And then we went to Albany when I was in the 3rd grade, and my aunt and my cousins say, oh, you look just like the Griffins. And I'm like, who is the Griffin? She's like, oh no, those not your people, that's not your dad.
Yeah,
when people ask me who's my dad, I always said my whole life, I don't have a dad, I don't know my dad.
She got a message on MySpace from a maybe sister. That sister found her name on child support papers. Internet detective level, expert.
Probably when I was like in high school, I got a message on MySpace from Lakeisha. Just a long little thing saying, I think you're my sister. And I'm just like, who is this girl?
When you first got the message, were you overwhelmed with emotion or did you feel like it was a prank? What were you thinking?
I just thought she was crazy because...
Her firefighter husband died the day of the family wedding. She didn't go. Now she's wondering if finding her dad would have changed that day.
One of the other sisters, Griffin sisters, her wedding was 21st, 2011. She invited me and my husband believed I looked like some of the other sisters. He was like, yeah, we should go. I don't know. And then I talked to the other people, like my sister and my mom. So we did not go, and that was the day he died.
Aww.
He finally says sorry. Took him 32 years. Judge tells him to own the pain he helped cause.
Well, I'm sorry for your husband, and I wish that I had been there for you. And I'm sorry for not being there for you.
Boom.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Griffin, you are not her father.
This starts off normal, then boom, baby drama explosion. Judge Lake says it's Reeves v. Silva over baby Legend. Jennifer says Kermit's the daddy, but Kermit's like, nah.
Ms. Reeves, you are here today to prove that the defendant, Mr. Silva, is the biological father of your 7-month-old son, Legend. Mr. Silva, you were involved in a paternity case on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in support of your sister, who took a DNA test to prove paternity of her child.
Kermit says cheating is fine if you're a dude, but if a girl cheats, fire and brimstone. Then he brings up God, like that helps.
I just don't trust her, Your Honor. I feel like she's tricking me into believing that I'm Legend's father. I grew up loving women, loving sex.
You grew up loving sex?
To me, I always felt like it was okay for men to go out, have sex, cheat, come home to their family. Women can't go out, have sex, and, you know, come home, and especially with a baby, you know, trying to say that I'm his father.
He acts like he's a knight from 1300. Says men conquer, women can't overpower. Judge Lake looks ready to toss a shoe.
Well, Your Honor,
God
created men to conquer, to overrule. A woman cannot empower men.
What are we on, Game of Thrones? What are we talking about? You said God created men to conquer, and what else?
Conquer, and women
to rule.
Cannot overpower men.
You're ridiculous.
Judge Lake hits him with that mom truth. If you can conquer, why not your jealousy? Kermit's brain goes straight to loading screen.
Why can't you conquer your doubt that she's also doing something that she says she's not doing?
If I'm out here, you know, doing what I'm doing, and she's out, you know, doing whatever she's doing, she's possibly doing the same thing.
And why would that be so wrong? Because you can't take what you dish out? I'm trying to understand.
Kermit says she was texting her ex and hiding it. Jennifer says it was hey texts, nothing juicy, but his face says she lying.
I caught her texting her ex. I caught them texting multiple times. She claims they're just friends. One day, I just decided to try to go on her phone, and she changed her password on me. She was in the bathroom when I was trying to get in there, and I thought I typed it in wrong, so I tried 2-3 more times until it locked me out. Finally, I got out the bathroom. I was like, so you're texting your ex and you changed your password. What you gotta hide?
Jennifer gets a message. We share a boyfriend. Turns out, Kermit's juggling ladies like bowling pins. Jennifer's whole brain blue screened.
Single time I turn around, it's another female texting my phone like, oh, I just dating your boyfriend. Your boyfriend is my boyfriend. That's our boyfriend. Like, what you mean?
Wait, what?
Boyfriend.
Our boyfriend?
The fact that you can allow another female to talk to me in that way. You know what I'm saying? And I asked him about it over and over again. What are you talking about? You're delusional. You don't even know anything.
Kermit dipped during pregnancy because he doubted it, showed up at the end and signed like it was homework. No backup, no plan, just vibes.
I did not believe I was the father, and I was not with her during her pregnancy. I was only there to be supportive during the birth. Throughout the whole time, I'm telling her I want a DNA test. In the hospital, none but her family was there. I was by myself. You know, I came in. As soon as Legend was born, the doctor came in the room, straight to me and gave me the paper. I didn't want to make her look bad, so
so you signed the birth certificate?
Yes.
He doubts, but still diapers and playtime. Jennifer loves it, but hates the gossip. Part-time dad, full-time drama.
Now, Legend is 7 months old.
And I've been there.
Since day one.
I got him clothes, everything he needed. I take care of him. I let him meet my family. I just needed this DNA test. That's the only way we could work on our relationship. That's the only way that I can continue loving my son and loving her. Because I do love her, Your Honor.
You dying by that double-edged sword, right?
Jennifer pulls out messages like spicy receipts. Kermit admits he lied just to be messy. Judge Lake calls him out like a boss.
Like, well, I have proof right here. A girl, she messaged me basically saying that, they was talking. He was her boyfriend as well. He didn't know me. I'm just.
So you got a message out of the blue from another woman. And it says, he told me you were his ex and that you were pregnant, but and didn't know who the dad was.
Yes, ma'am.
Jennifer cries, says she wants love for her kid, doesn't want baby Legend thinking he's unwanted. Even Kermit looks a little shook.
I just feel a little hurt because, we have a beautiful baby together. And I don't want him to grow up feeling like, oh, my daddy didn't even think that I was his. I don't want him to feel like, we were just being irresponsible. I want him to love me the way that I love my parents. I want him to grow up the same way that I grew up with both of his parents in his life. You know what I mean?
Kermit says baby looks like her ex. Now he's blaming faces and noses. Jennifer's ready to throw hands.
The baby honestly looks more like her than me. How could I tell the baby is mine if he doesn't really even look like me for real?
Look at him. What are you talking about?
Her ex looks just like me. He could be her ex.
It's hard for you to tell because the child looks so much like her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge opens the envelope.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Silva, you are the father.
This starts wild real quick. Capel says Harris is her baby daddy and wants him to sign papers in front of his girl. He says nope and denies everything.
Ms. Capels, you say you are 100% certain that the defendant is your 15-month-old son, Jason's biological father, and today he's going to put his name on the dotted line right in front of his girlfriend.
Turns out they were never a couple, just hooking up. No protection, no plan, now a baby. Girlfriend's the reason he's saying nope.
To be completely honest, Your Honor, me and Mr. Harris were never in a relationship. Let's clarify that now. We were just
sleeping together.
Together. That's pretty much it.
No,
I was not, no.
I wasn't.
You find out you're pregnant. Obviously, you weren't using protection if there's a question that he's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You tell him, did he immediately deny the baby, or you feel like he's just denying the baby now because of his girlfriend?
You're correct.
Girlfriend walks in ready to spill tea. She says Capels kept texting her man. Now the girls are low-key beefing in court.
Well, basically, when we started dating, he told me about the situation and was like, I was talking to some girl. I may have a possible baby with her, whatever. As a woman, I just ended up accepting that. We continued to date and we fell in love, have our own family and kids. One day we're out with the kids bowling and she wrote him in, oh, that B and this and that. Basically, was always her writing every blue moon about me.
Capels brings a whole calendar to prove her case. Harris says he doesn't remember being there. Judge is doing the math like a pro.
As you can see, my son Jason was born January 9th, 2016. Me and Mr. Harris were intimate for 9 months, all the way up until May. We started talking around September, Mr. Harris. If you go back 9 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it'll bring you to April.
He was with her for months and only knew her as Muffin, didn't know her real name at all. Judge's face says it all.
He didn't even know Ms. Capel's name? Is that true?
When we contacted Mr. Harris and told him that Ms. Shatera Capels summoned him for a DNA test, he said, I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah. I said, Muffin?
That is correct.
People in town say the baby ain't his. Capels says she was already pregnant when she met the other guy. Harris is super unsure.
Her best friend, she told me that the kid is not mine. On social media, I was getting messages all over people she knows, people her. She told me not too long ago that she did have sex with one guy. And,
after the fact.
No,
and
after
she said it was only one time. That's all it takes.
Why would I bring it up, Your Honor, if it was after his time? I was already pregnant, and I didn't even know I was pregnant.
Capels gives birth. Harris is MIA. Says he was working, didn't even sign the birth paper. She was too mad to care.
Did he get to come to the delivery room?
He didn't have a ride, Your Honor.
I was at the work when she delivered the baby. The next morning, I came up there.
Did?
When I looked at him, he didn't look like me at all.
No, he does
and
not.
I had my doubt. I had been had my doubt, but like I say, everybody around town says that she goes around saying it's another guy's baby.
When you came up to the hospital to see the baby, did you sign the birth certificate?
No, I did not.
Capels says girlfriend was in the hospital room during surgery. Girlfriend says, that's my job. Whole room went silent.
I'm undergoing surgery, getting ready to have my tubes tied.
That is my job.
As a woman, I would not want to be in a room with a woman that's having my boyfriend's baby.
Okay, so you were the patient.
That's a little too much.
But wait a minute, you work at the hospital, and then that was where they told you your station or where you were supposed to be? You were assigned to that?
Today, we got our stuff to do. Yes, ma'am.
Harris says he ain't allowed to see the baby. Capel says he only texts at 10 p.m. when the babies sleep. She let his family visit, though.
I did get him the opportunity, but he was always working. So if you're at work, then my baby's at home with her.
That's when he wrote you, though, at nighttime. That's when he wrote you at night.
He was
got
writing me
off
at
work, he would
nighttime
want to
when
go
my
see
son
him.
is like at night. What do you want to come over and watch him sleep?
But that's when he got off. That's the time he got.
Of him if you want to see him sleep.
All right.
Do you want to come over for me?
Was like that.
DNA says,
it has been determined by this court. Mr. Harris, you are not the father.
Thank you. Thank you.
You didn't sleep with no one else.
this dad came in hot asking if 2 kids were even his. He says mom bounced and left him with the babies. Judge's face said, oh, this is gonna be messy.
Mr. Mitchell, you are petitioning the court for 2 DNA tests to determine if you are the father of your estranged wife's 2 children, 2-year-old Deshaun Jr. and 1-year-old Bishop. You currently have custody of the 2 boys, so the stakes of today's results couldn't be higher.
Yes, Your Honor.
He got teary talking about being left alone with 2 little dudes. He's been doing it solo and just wants to know the truth. Man's heart is full, but his brain's confused.
Over the past few months, Miss Dalton done put me and my kids through a lot. She done left, and between the last 7, 8, 9 months, you know, she done made us struggle. She done walked out on us, Your Honor. What I'm trying to do right now, Your Honor, excuse me, Your Honor, because I get very emotional when it comes to talking about my kids.
He said she handed over the kids and food stamps like a checkout bag. Destiny says that's not true at all. Crowd was like, Wait, what now?
What she did is she left with another man. She just came home one day, Your Honor, and just said, here go your kids, take the food stamp card, and just walked out.
That's not what happened. When she walks out, she leaves you with these 2 children and you don't even know if you're their biological father?
Yes, ma'am.
So you say that isn't true, Ms.
No, Your Honor, it's not true.
Destiny clapped back, saying she worked 2 jobs while he chilled. She says she did everything while he played around. Judge was just blinking like, y'all serious?
Like I said, from the beginning, I've been doing everything by myself. He wasn't working, pregnant with my first son. I worked 2 jobs to make sure that the household was taken care of. He didn't work, he gambled.
Your Honor,
didn't do anything
Your Honor,
that he was supposed to do
Your
as
Honor,
Let her finish her testimony. I'll
as
give you a chance
husband,
to respond.
As a husband and as a father, if we were going to work together and do things. And like I said, it was something that I was bearing on me by myself.
He says she vanished for days after fights like a ghost. She says it was just once. He says more like once a week.
Whatever she calls herself doing, I don't know what she does. She has these spurts and these moments where she feels that if we get into an argument, it's okay for her to stay out all night or to stay gone for a week.
That's happened one time when the last altercation that we had when we were gone for the 7 months, that's when that happened. I couldn't deal with it.
He found out she was talking to another guy early on. Dude even called her while they were chilling. He's like, hold up, who this?
I met her off of Facebook, Your Honor. She was already staying with another guy, Your Honor. I didn't know at the time. I happened to end up finding out once we was over my sister's house. You know, some guy calls her phone, Your Honor. It's her cousin. That's what she says, it's my cousin. Well, call your cousin back because the way she was talking to her demeanor, it seemed funny. And like I said, I'm much older than her. So like I said, I done been there and done that, you know, trying to run these little game on me.
She was flirting at her job, he says. Movie nights and amusement parks with coworkers? Sounds like a date, not a shift.
She was going around with some dude that she worked with. Well, a friend of mine, Your Honor, actually works with her. So he was always saying she's flirtatious towards in particular guy at her job, which she was working at a fast food restaurant. She'd come home and then she'd be like, my job, they're taking us to the movies this weekend or something. Her job. And remind you, it's a fast food restaurant.
He walked in and another guy was sitting on his couch. Destiny made the dude lunch like it was Thanksgiving. Everyone was like, bro?
Your Honor, I came home one day, Your Honor. This guy is sitting on my couch, Your Honor.
On your couch?
And she done made dinner or lunch, whatever you want to call it, for this guy.
Yes, I did.
The new guy in your house where you live with your husband?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And he wasn't my husband at the time. We were, like I said, our relationship was real rock. There was nothing where it was committed.
How much committed do you get more than that? We're staying together.
But what were you doing, though?
Destiny swears both kids are his. Even with the cheating, she's like, yep, 100%. Tears were flowing, but so were the side eyes.
Around the time I could see both of my kids, he was the only person that I slept with.
She just left. When I say didn't give a care in the world, Your Honor, I'm seeing on her Facebook and her Instagram that this other guy that she's been sleeping with, how much she's so in love with him.
Never was I saying I was in love with this guy.
She ain't did nothing.
And Your Honor, I put him through hell and back.
She ain't say nothing about her kids.
DNA says,
it has been determined by this court, Mr. Mitchell, you are Bishop's father.